How Gita is related to spirituality. Conversation between Durva and Manisha Joshi ma'am, neuroscientist. Ma'am, today I would like to ask you some questions.
Yes.
Please guide us.
Surely.
Yeah. So, ma'am, very firstly, I would like to ask you, what is spirituality?
In a simple words, spirituality is knowing about the spirit inside us. Many people think that our mind is our everything. No, mind is one of the sensory organ which is giving us different kind of illusions sometimes.
Yes.
The real truth is spirit. When we go beyond mind, we can understand our spirit. And spiritualism is understanding the spirit, understanding the energy, and go beyond what we are seeing in 3D, just like 5D, 7D, 11D, like that.
Yeah. Ma'am, you are neuroscientist, and today I would like to ask you that what is the scientific approach to the spirituality?
So nice question. I never expected this question from you, Durva, because you are so young and so curious about science and spiritualism.
Yeah.
I would like to answer this, and with confidence I can say that because I am a neuroscientist, as well as from 30 years I am delivering lectures on Bhagavad Gita, and my whole family is spiritual. So to be spiritual was like a cakewalk for me, or it was like a born thing for me.
Yes.
It was never like learning something. It was everything was I was listening from childhood. So I just thought that spiritualism is a way of life, something like that. So when I studied neuroscience, at that time I was also very curious that can there be any relation of between the neuroscience and our spiritual grantha.
Yes.
During that I read one book of Swami Vijnananda, Bhagavad Gita in terms of science. So, and also I read one book on the Gnaneshwari by Dr Pitre. He is a neurosurgeon, and he has given a so nice explanation of spiritualism and neuroscience, and in terms of with the help of a shloka in Bhagavad Gita. So that created such a great enthusiasm in me to understand whether there is any correlation between the Bhagavad Gita or the spiritualism and neuroscience. Then very luckily I got one book, that God Changes Your Brain. And that book is about how our spiritualism changes our brain. It is such a marvelous book that when we become aware of something, the whole universe changes.
Actually.
Because your perception has changed, your level of understanding has changed. So that understanding becomes more deeper when you are spiritual.
Yes.
And when that deep understanding is there is a direct connection of that with the neuroscience. Because awakening mind, that means awakening the neurons in the brain. Neuron firing is there is light inside our brain, and that we say as a light of wisdom.
Yeah.
That light of wisdom can be understood in terms of neuroscience by knowing the process of signaling of neurons, and by understanding how our intellect works in our brain. So spirituality and neuroscience, they never contradict each other. On the contrary, they actually go hand in hand with each other.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, now I would like to ask you that, like different peoples or yogis, they went on the top of the mountains, they meditate, they surrender. But is it important that we should also go on that top hill and do like spiritual practice?
Very nice question. Actually, many students, when they get frustrated, they say that I want to go away from the home.
Yeah.
I want to go something very, very far away. But I ask them, if you will go away, and if the same problem you are carrying with yourself, then if you are sitting on the mountain and the same problem you are facing, what you are going to do?
Yes.
There nobody is going to help you. At least you are here safe. So no, you need not to go to the mountains or on the top of the mountains. What you have to do is remove the mountains of doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
Be clear-headed, be down to earth, know your roots. And when you know your roots, when you meditate, when you focus on spiritualism, when you do the good thing, automatically all the spiritual energy gets more and more flowing in your body and your mind. So I really think that in day-to-day life, you can have a very great spiritual life. Just like if you are walking. While walking, so if you are more awakened, or if you are more alert, or if you are mindful, that walking becomes a meditation.
Yes.
Just like when you do your hobby at that time you are just not remembering any time, or you are just forget every problem, and you are very much enjoying
Engaged,
that moment, and you are not worried about the results and everything. That flow itself is spiritualism. So that spiritualism you can find anywhere. You can you know, there are so many great saints who has found their awakening moments in different plants or different moments or different situations. So it is not a rule of thumb there that if you will go to mountain you will get a spiritual awakening. No, you can go get a spiritual awakening when you are practicing that. You can practice anywhere, anytime in your life.
We have Srimad Bhagavad Gita in our religion, and it is said that that book is very awesome and it has a capability to change the minds of the peoples. Now I would like to ask you that what is actually Bhagavad Gita?
Such a nice question. You know, there was a very big Bhagavad Gita in my home in my childhood. I was very curious because the picture painted on it was very beautiful. Behind it was a sky, and that blue sky, and in front of that blue sky there was Lord Krishna, and there was a Lord Arjuna, and Arjuna was praying to Lord Krishna, and that 7 horses and everything that we know. So that very famous picture. And I was always very curious to imagine, because in my childhood when I was not able to read Sanskrit, so I used to imagine what that man is asking to him and what he is answering. But slowly in my home there is, I just told you that there was an environment of spiritualism, and there was always talkings about the Bhagavad Gita, Jnaneshwari, Tukaram Gatha, Eknath Maharaj. So that was a part of routine for me. So when I started to read Bhagavad Gita, to understand Bhagavad Gita, I started to understand initially that it is something very interesting. And there is that Lord Krishna, like I just found that he's like a daddy, a big daddy who is guiding us, that if we are confused, if we are like somewhere stressed, so it can help us. I think that the first shloka which I learned about in Bhagavad Gita was in the 6th chapter, and that was Chanchalami Mana Krishna Pramati Balavadram Tasyam Nigram Mani Vayori Dushkaram. And I don't know why, but from childhood I was very curious to know about mind and how the mind works. And my basic instinct was that if mind is the reason for pain, then can mind be the reason for the happiness? I wanted to see everybody happy. I never wanted anybody sad. And I used to feel that if when I will become adult, or when I will become doctor or some whatever, I will do some research about this. So that shloka actually haunted me for 20 years. That said me that how the chanchal mind or the wandering mind can be controlled. When Arjuna asked to Lord Krishna says him that when you will do the tapa, when you will do the sacrifice, and when you will doing the discipline, then automatically your mind will be stable. So those things actually started to create a curiosity in me. And then I started to see that selfless work is really giving power to our mind. Mind is becoming stable. So I started to give some food to the beggars in the road in my school and something like that. And that literally sparked my eyes. I came to know about Mother Teresa, and I just was so much felt connected with her. And I really thought that she's so kind, she's so nice, and I really thought that knowledge doesn't matter. If you are having a kindness in your heart, if your behavior is good, then automatically all things will fall in a nice place. Then I feel like that. Then I started to study Bhagavad Gita in more depth, and I really think that Bhagavad Gita is the center stage of my life. And my so many hurdles in my life, at that time when there was nobody to guide me at particular moments, Bhagavad Gita was a light in that dark moments in my life. So I can confidently say that Bhagavad Gita is such a grantha, or such a divine book which can teach you to know more about yourself. It will introduce yourself to you in a different aspect.
Ma'am, what I think about Bhagavad Gita, there are many studies, like it might be law of attraction, quantum entanglement, quantum resonance, or it might anything it might be. But yes, beside this, I understand that law of attraction depends on the principle that universe listens the emotional language of all of us. We need to raise our emotional vibration so that universe can give us abundance of happiness, true love, whatever we want, whatever we deserve in our life, universe should give us. So for that we need to raise our vibrations at a certain level, certain frequency, and that is what Bhagavad Gita is. It is embodied with lot of energy, such an energy which can raise our mind up to certain level, and so that we can achieve anything in our lives,
Correct.
what we want, what
Correct.
we deserve. For this, different scientists, they did research on this even.
Yes.
There was one project which was done on 9/11, the event you might know.
Yes.
In New York, 11
Yes.
September 2001. So what scientists had did at that time is they just had put certain devices whole across the world, that is random number generators.
Okay.
That generator is used to collect the data from minds of the peoples. It used to collect that waves from the minds of the peoples, and
Yes.
it used to create a graph.
Oh, wow.
And that graph was created as a very randomness,
Yes.
just because there is no certain line in the minds of the peoples.
Yes.
So after that, after some time, when 9/11 was happened, at that moment, through media, through technology, everyone's mind was connected to that typical event.
Correct.
And just because of it had created massive impact
Yes.
on that particular devices it had
Yes.
caught up. And
Yes.
just what scientists they found a sudden inclination, or I may say sudden rise up in that particular lab.
Consciousness, yeah. Correct.
So
Correct.
by this we can say that somewhere consciousness is related to each and every one of us.
Correct.
We are all connected with each other.
Correct.
And so just because of it had hindered that particular graph.
Correct.
And that's what I mean to say is that is very much important for
Yes.
us to raise our emotional vibe
Yes.
of each and every one of us, so that universe can give us what we want or what we deserve in our life.
Correct.
So yeah, this was about
In fact, to interrupt you, Bhagavad Gita says desires itself are disease.
Yeah.
So if we can create a mind which is having a great contentment or satisfaction, and the satisfaction is a blessing, it is
Yes,
said
yes,
in
yes.
Bhagavad Gita. So more and more desires, they are like when we give some food to the dog comes again and again and again.
Yeah.
In the same way, one wish is fulfilled, the next wish comes.
Yes.
So instead of that, Bhagavad Gita says that be content, be very happy in whatever you are having,
Yes.
and do not expect for the result. Just do your karma, the results will follow. And I really think that the biggest message in Bhagavad Gita is said that don't get handcuffed by the results.
Yes.
Because when we get handcuffed by the results, we lose our freedom.
Freedom,
And freedom
actually.
is the most joyful thing. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be locked up. Nobody
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
to be in
yeah.
prison. But Dhruva, people don't need a prison to get locked up.
Yeah.
There are so many people who are actually randomly moving everywhere, but their minds are in prison.
Yes.
They don't know how to escape from their
Actually.
own anxiety or their own
Yeah.
problem.
Barriers.
And whatever you have said that we are asked to universe, and universe gives the response to us. That's very true, because now the quantum mechanics has given us a new perspective about non-locality. What is non-locality? Non-locality means you need not to be at the same place to have a contact. And they have done one experiment on atoms, and they have done some experiment on two atoms and separated those atoms, and one atom was at North Pole, one atom was on South Pole, and still when one atom was having some impact, automatically the second atom showed the same impact.
Yeah.
So they were so away from each other. How that can be? How that can be
Yes.
connected? And even I have seen some examples in Discovery Channel. I think before many years, I even don't remember about it. But there was a very nice film on Discovery, and Discovery films are very nice. They
Yes,
are
yes,
thoroughly studied. And in childhood, that was the most like interesting thing for me. So they have showed in that film that there is one fish. I think that's a whale fish goes like 1,000 miles away, and that gives eggs there, and then come back that 1,000 miles again. But that fish babies, they find the way. How they find the way to their mother? That they are thousands of miles away
from each other.
They are not knowing exact location, but they reach to their parents. And so that means there is a connectivity.
Yeah.
May you call it electromagnetic waves, may you call it some kind of energy, but that energy interconnects us.
Yes.
Very nicely. And I really feel that you might have observed, Dhruva, that there are some people when they are with us, we feel very light, very joyful.
Yeah.
And there are some people we just, oh God, when they will go
Why?
away and why they are calling me, I don't want to talk to
Yeah.
them. We are not hating them. We do not hate them, but something in them actually irritates us, or something in us irritates them. Something, I don't know, but that is there where some spirituality comes. I really think, and I really feel very happy that you are such a having nice vibes when we are talking. I should say thanks to you that you have helped me to actually feel that all good thoughts, and I really think that your mind is really very pure soul and indigo mind, I would like to say. And whatever you are actually finding the path or going on a path is a great illuminated path, and I really wish you a good luck about it.
Thank you so much. I
Yes.
just deserve your blessings. So yes, my dear friends, this was all about today. And literally from depth of my heart, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much
Same
to
here.
inspire us, to guide us. And thanks a lot. Always stay blessed and happy. Thank you.